guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Shelly and we talk about Shelly over 60s thoughts. So you don't want to miss that. Today my thoughts were about Abby Phillips, right? Abby Phillips has a show on CNN. It's I think it's supposed to be her kind of moderating conservatives and liberals when they debate, different topics. And there's a thing going around like, should she, people are calling for her resignation, I guess, because of this whole bombing in New York. She said it was about Mandani. I'm sorry, I know I'm butchering his name. And, they're like, oh, she did this, she did that. Do I think she should be terminated for that? No. I don't particularly like her, but not for that. I think she should resign because of this. She is supposed to be impartial, right? I don't know if any of you have ever seen that show, Abby Phillips' show, but she is anything but impartial. That woman hates President Trump like nobody's business. And Scott Jennings is on there. He's the conservative, and I've seen Kevin O'Leary, I think it is, from Shark Tank, and Anna Navarro. You can't get more liberal than her. So she's supposed to, in my mind, I'm thinking, be this person who's supposed to be impartial and giving everybody kind of like a say on whatever the topic is, whether it's what's going on in Iran, or like I said, the two terrorists that were tossing bombs into a crowd in New York, like whatever the issue, I think she's supposed to be impartial. She's not. She is always yelling over Scott Jennings. No, I'm sorry. She always talks very monotone. She never yells, but she's always talking over Scott Jennings, and she kind of lets people just really go after the conservatives, right? And she's just not impartial enough. And if you cannot be impartial or keep your feelings to yourself enough to moderate a show, maybe you shouldn't have the show, right? So, like, to me, Piers Morgan, I watch his show a lot. He has people on there debating, and he does a pretty good job, I think, of staying pretty centrist, right? He has his moments, but he says what he really thinks. If he says, Trump did this good, it's good, or he did that bad, it's bad. He is very, I think, pretty good at moderating. Everyone has their moments, but he does a pretty good job, I think, trying to stay impartial. Whereas Abby Phillips, no, there's none of that going on. And if you can't, it's like the mainstream media, right? If you can't be impartial enough to report the news, the real news, then you're in the wrong business. Go be a commentator for your side or whatever side you think you're on. I think it's real important when you have people giving you the news to at least try to come off as impartial. And I don't see that with Abby Phillips. I really don't. Now, in all fairness, we really don't see that from the other side as well, right? Like, for example, let's say, I don't know, Megyn Kelly, who I actually really like. I like Megyn Kelly. She used to hate Trump, like in the worst way. But I don't find her very centrist. I find her very conservative, very right-leaning, and no shade to her. That's who she is. And even Abby Phillips, no shade to her. That's who she is, right? This is what she does, right? I just don't like that whole vibe, right? I think you need to be impartial or don't be on the show. And I don't see that with her. So I don't think she should be terminated over this little thing with the two terrorists and the bombings in New York. I think she should step down from that show just because I don't think she can be fair-minded. I don't think she can be, I don't think she can stay impartial, right? So I don't think a lot of people can do that. It's very hard, right? I would think, to be impartial. Even me, if I'm on a show and I lean one way or the other, to me, I think it would be very hard to kind of choke those feelings down. But like, that's their job. Like, that's her job. Her job is to stay. And Anna Navarro, she was given all kinds of time to pop off at the mouth, as if we don't get enough of her on The View. But she was like, blah, 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 blah. Girl, it's all I can do to, she's up there. Listen, I don't know if any of you have ever heard of the Young Turks. It's Cenk Uygur and Ana Navarro. No, Ana Kasparian. I'm sorry. Ana Kasparian. Sorry, I think that's it. But oh my Lord. I remember when I first started seeing that show, I felt like they tried to be a little centrist, right? And especially Anna. I would watch her, and she's got blonde hair, pretty girl, and she would smile. I've seen her teeth. I know she smiles, but she is so just like she is insufferable. I saw her on Piers Morgan. She is one just screaming in that RBF, like that resting you know what face, like just miserable, like girl. She's crazy. And Cenk Uygur, it's like, who can yell the loudest? You're right. If you can scream the loudest, like it's they've really gone like woo, cuckoo bananas. Like if you cannot calmly and fairly talk about things, like keep it real. Sorry, I saw something went flying by. If you can't be fair, then just, you don't have any business claiming to be fair, right? Sitting here, oh, I'm so, there's people out there, if Trump saved a drowning person, they would be mad. Like, really, let's get serious here. And I'm sure it goes the same way the other way as well, but it's just awful. I don't think they're fair. No matter what side you're on, you have to look at California and see that Gavin Newsom has made a complete mess of California, right? I don't think you have to be a genius to see that. I don't think it's unreasonable to say that Tim Walz should have been working with federal agents all along, and that maybe those two people wouldn't have got caught up and got killed had they been cooperating with federal agents all along. I think those are common sense issues. I don't think that's right or left. I think that's common sense, right? Right? What? So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you know who Abby Phillips is? I can't remember the name of her show, but I know it's Abby Phillips. It's her show. But she's very, very left-leaning, and I don't think she's a very fair-minded person. So let me know what you think. Do you think people on the mainstream media should be non-biased, impartial? I think they should. I think either you report both sides fairly and legitimately, or get off the air. That's just my thoughts. Because people want the truth, right? We want to know the truth from both sides. Not just what the skewed left says or the skewed right. We want the real deal, the real stuff that's going on. So anyway, that was my thoughts on Miss Abby Phillips. So let me know what you guys think. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.